Alright, so we gotta follow Deckard Cain back to New Tristram.
Uncle, you're alive!
Thanks to you and your friend here.
I have but one request of you. What do you know of the Fallen Star?
Not much, I'm afraid, though the prophecy of the end days surely points to it as a sign that the end has begun.
Please, Uncle, not more of your stories. All that matters now is that you're back.
The Skeleton King was once our beloved lord, Leoric. He was driven mad by Diablo's evil. He lost both of his sons and his very soul before he was finally defeated. Now it seems he's risen to plague this land once again.
A tragic story, but I cannot reach the Fallen Star until I face him.
The key to defeating him lies in his old crown. Seek out our blacksmith, Hadrig. He knows of its whereabouts. Leah, you should not dismiss the signs so lightly. Do you not believe the evidence of your own eyes?
Horrors have visited Tristram before, and it endured.
But what of the texts? The Zakarum tomes warn of a falling star. The Herodric scroll spoke of the dead rising, and the Lord of Lies, the prophecy of the end days, says that at the end of all things, the first sign shall appear in the heavens.
Yes, you've been telling me about the texts since I was 8 years old, Uncle. I just don't think we should read too much into them.
How many demons have to invade your world before you start believing people when they tell you that a demon is about to invade your world?
I've found some interesting things on my latest dig. You should take a look.
And sell off some of this crap that we don't need anymore because inventory's pretty much full. Make a little gold and maybe we can buy something useful here in a minute with it. I don't know. We'll try those and see what we think. And now to go find the blacksmith and talk to him and see what's up.
Leah spent all night alongside the blacksmith's wife, tending the wounded.
Did you hear? Old Rumford has us down.
Yeah. People just randomly talk as I go by.
Hey, sure, I may do business with some unsavory types, but I pass the savings
Can't use
on
them
to
quite
you.
yet, but a couple of rings here will be a pretty big upgrade.
Blacksmith, Deckard Cain said you could help me find the crown of Leoric.
Not now. It's my wife. She's locked in the cellar like all those who've been bitten. I'm to put them all down. But how can I kill my own wife?
Sometimes death is the only mercy we have left. I will help you.
Thank you. Follow me.
I will kill your beloved for you and make you watch as I slaughter her. Cellar of the Damned. I mean, really, if you stick the people in a place called the Cellar of the Damned, you're pretty much giving up all hope.
My friends, I'm sorry.
Sorrow won't save your town, blacksmith.
All the people turning into zombies. We're killing them all.
Mira, my love, forgive me.
Hadrig, help me.
No, this is disgusting.
Not enough hatred.
Well, as you can see, you ran out of the hatred resource
I couldn't have done this without
to use
you.
some of the abilities.
I'm
with.
in your debt. My name is Hadrig Aemon.
There is one favor I must ask of you. Do you know where Leoric's crown is?
I can help you there. It's buried with his Chancellor, my grandfather. You'll find his tomb in a cemetery in the Weeping Hollow. And if you see my fool apprentice out there, tell him to get back to town.
Well, the man doesn't seem incredibly devastated after we killed his wife. More worried about making sure we get his apprentice back to town so he can put his ass to work. So, open the northwest gate. That would be the shiny one.
There's a big pack coming this time. Stand your ground.
What a little thing.
That's the last of them. The bridge is clear.
Dead, that's what they are. Completely dead.
Scavengers are ugly, pathetic creatures who survive off of carrion and corpses, too diseased to attract any other carnivores. I did once meet a raggedy fellow who claimed that he had trained one of the beasts to bring him large rats to eat. But I'm sure the story is utter nonsense.
Of course it's utter nonsense. Nobody believes anything they get told in this world currently, despite the fact that the dead are walking and demons come and invade the world. On a pretty consistent basis, I might add. But stories that people tell can never be true. It's a good thing too, because then these undead I'm fighting might be real. That could be pretty dangerous. Well, the majority of these are tough. Those are pretty tough little guys right there. Something about the undead, they just don't want to die.
I feel more powerful.
Oh, level 6. What do we get at level 6? Puncturing arrow. That sounds like a pretty fun little ability. And we can equip these 2 rings now, which gives us a pretty nice little stat boost. Oh yeah, we picked up a new rune for our ability. Let's check that out. Alright, looks like it just makes the attack we're using better. Yeah, I think that's the only one we've got so far, yeah. Well, we'll activate it. Yeah, it's not bad. I actually like that. I can see where that'd be. Yep, particularly useful when there's multiple enemies around. That is definitely an upgraded version of the ability we've been using.
Who disturbed this grave? I should have known.
Oh, the skeletons!
Keep you in the ground.
The cold ground welcomes the foul bodies of these cruel men. They sought to prolong their lives through forbidden magic at great and cruel cost to others. Their evil fed on itself until it consumed them all, and they found themselves at the end of a hangman's rope.
So far in, the Demon Hunter's not too bad. It's pretty fun. Right now, I'm not really finding much of a need to kite a lot of things with the little slowing ability we've got right here. I'll throw one down. Pretty much just kind of running through and just shooting stuff and it dies. probably one of my biggest gripes with Diablo 3 at the moment is just all the classes, or the majority of them in the beginning, they're just kind of dull and boring. And I understand you need to learn your way through the class and slowly pick up abilities so you learn to use them properly and try different things. But at the same time, every one of them's a little dull in the beginning. I mean, you don't really start picking up good stuff till pretty much the end of the beta experience. Especially like the Witch Doctor, which is probably my favorite so far. The Monk is pretty fun. Later on, when you pick up the ability to kind of flash around and do several different things. But even the Monk, the big ability that I was really wanting, the Plague of Frogs, things like that, I had to just actually go through the available portion of the beta twice to get high enough level to unlock that ability. And, I was looking forward to that. But I guess it gives you something to look forward to. Keep playing, unlock it. But it's just, a little surprising to me sometimes that games don't give you a little more in the front. Now, they can't give you too much because then they overload you and you don't know what to do with all these things you've got. But, give us a little more of a taste of what the game's all about. Start us with more than just one ability. I mean, give us a couple. Give us 3. 3 is not too many abilities to start out with to, swap things around and try different things out and see what you like. Instead of running around where, the first 10 or 12 levels of the game, everybody's pretty much doing the exact same thing because you don't really have a choice. But, later on when I get to later levels and I'm getting to pick from all these awesome abilities and all these runes that change the effects and what they do and how they work, probably won't have the same complaints that I have. Because then it'll be awesome, and that's all I think about is how awesome this is to have all these abilities to choose from. Until then, we'll just keep chugging along with what we've got. We've got a couple of cool things. I like the piercing arrow thing where it kind of bounces around and goes through and shoots multiple enemies. That's really convenient in a game where you're supposed to push buttons to kill lots and lots of enemies. It's an excellent ability for doing that kind of thing. So anyway, we're still wandering around this area looking for the Weeping Hollow. And we're pretty much killing lots and lots of things as we go. Just kind of grinding it out, exploring an area where there's not a lot to do except grind out monster kills and level up and get ready to move on into the next area. And as you can see, there's a little ping on the mini-map kind of letting us know that we're getting close to what we're looking for. We're going to explore around a little bit, get some more gold, kill some more things, grind out some more XP. Because that's a big part of what this game is. It's not necessarily just taking your next objective and just running straight to it and let's just do this and get this quest over with so we can move on to the next one. No, it's a game of roaming around, killing a bunch of monsters, exploring areas. And left clicking. A lot of left clicking. But if you're a Diablo fan and you're looking forward to this game, you already know that's coming. That's not going to come as a big surprise to you at all. Yeah, I like that rune on that arrow a lot. Here's a little buff. Yeah, bonus to magic item and gold finding. That is always useful. And Cemetery of the Forsaken. Looks like this is where we're headed to. Alright, so this is the zone we're looking at. Let's go down here and finish exploring the Weeping Hollow area here. Kill a few more monsters, make a little more gold, maybe get a good drop there. We've got this bonus stat on us. Monsters killed. Massacre. Okay, so the server crashed on us, so we had to restart. This is still beta. Things like that are supposed to happen. This was actually part of a stress test, so part of the job of the players here is to stress the servers, and crashes are expected, so that's what just happened.
Not enough hatred.
And now I don't have enough hatred, because I don't hate enough things, apparently. And there's a little slow coming in handy. Cutting the big bad boss around. And inventory's pretty full, so we'll run back to town and try to empty some of that out. We'll visit the vendor first and just sell off the crap that is only useful in the form of gold. And double checking along the way and making sure that none of this is better than something I've got equipped. Alright, now we'll visit the blacksmith and break down some of these magic items into crafting materials that we can use to create new and hopefully better items. So let's go over to the stash, and I've got some crafting materials from earlier and from a couple of other characters, and we'll see if we can create something. And what you do as you spend gold to level up the blacksmith, you get different crafting recipes that are available. You can make weapons and armor and things like that. And they'll have some base attack damage and things like that on it. But as far as the magical attributes that the item's going to have, it's still going to be randomly generated. So just because I create a crossbow that does more damage than the bow that I'm using doesn't necessarily mean that the magical stats that come along with it are going to be the best, most optimal stats for me to use. Now, if you don't create something that you want to use, you can always just break it back down, and you're not going to get as much materials out of it as you put into it, but you can break it back down and try to build something else. Or sometimes you create something like you're trying to create a headpiece for your demon hunter, and you get one that has optimal stats on it that's going to be better for just the warrior, just throwing something out there, just something else. And so you can just throw it in the stash and let one of your other characters use it. As you can see, we made a crossbow that had some pretty decent stats on it and did some good attack damage. So we went ahead and equipped that. And let's try to randomly generate here. And not high enough level to use this yet, but it is going to have some decent stats on it, so we'll hold on to that until we level up and are able to use it. Got lucky there, created two things that were very useful. I've sat here and created 2 or 3 things in a row that weren't useful for the character I was trying to create stuff for. So, yeah, you know, sometimes it works out really good, sometimes not so much. Either way, the crafting, it's entertaining. It's not the most in-depth, hardcore thing you'll do, but it's not bad. I'm anxious to see what some of the later recipes, what kind of equipment that they'll be able to generate.